Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Good to have you on with us. I can't wait to say hello to a few folks coming on. Here we go. Nick from our staff. Good morning, Nick. First one up this morning. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. The Faithful. Guylaine, how are you? Andrea, Niagara Falls. Elaine, good morning. And who else is on with us so I can say, Fran, how are you? And Brahim, Portland, Oregon. Kevin, Oshawa. Diane, good morning. Wendy from Markham. How are you, Wendy? Faye, British Columbia. Oh, Terrace, hey, it's early. Len and Judy, Edmonton. And Rosalind, how are you? And Lute, Katie, Fraulein, David. You guys are wonderful. Julie and Mary. Annette, how are you? Nouveau Brunswick, right? Adeline, LaSalle, Donna, Jeanette, bonjour, Mary, and AJ. How you doing, AJ? Rita, good morning. Pat, nice to have you on. Georgie, Nova Scotia. Lynn, how are you? Nellie, and another Lynn from Halifax. Good morning. Samora. And Yolande, bonjour. Maria. Chantal from Ottawa, bonjour. Jerry, Hatley, Quebec. Marianne. Veronica, good morning to you. Pauline, bonjour. Catherine, Parksville, British Columbia. Vera, Newfoundland. I was waiting for Newfoundland. Diane, how are you? Robin, Marcin, Karen, and Linda. Hi, Linda. And Samara is from Mexico. Well, good morning, Mexico. Thea, Saskatchewan. April, Helena. Okay, couple more. Let's get going. And Diane's from LaSalle. Yes, and there's another Diane. Bonjour, Diane. And Jean, and Jeannie, Wendy, Ted and Wendy from Alliston. Yes, good morning. Joyce. A lot of people, and Kathy from Virginia, Evelyn, Lori, Cambridge, April. I don't want to miss anybody, but I got to get going. Another Diane from Thunder Bay. Now, yesterday, what we did, we talked about the liver. Okay? And did you read our email this morning? Put your hand up. No, but did you get our email? If you didn't, hopefully, sometimes there's technical issues. Check your spam or whatever. Or if you haven't signed up to get our emails, we talked about a study that someone had posted on the Facebook group about if you eat eggs, you're going to get fatty liver. Fake news. Big time. You want to empty your liver. Eat eggs. It'll empty your liver, not fill it up with fat. Because it's just basic biochemistry. It really is. And it sounds true, right? The more fat, like the yolk, don't eat the yolk, eat the white. You can have egg whites, maybe. But don't eat the yolk, because the yolk's got fat. Yeah. And you want fat in your brain, and you literally want fat to empty your liver. I know it sounds strange because fat is the new, for the last 50 years, is a boogeyman. Fat makes you fat. Fat clogs your arteries. No, it doesn't. Fat lubricates your arteries. When you think of fat, good fat, like egg yolks, and saturated fat, which is a fat that you will get in steak. See the fat around the meat? Yeah. You see the fat around the bacon? Yes. That lubricates your blood vessels. Doesn't clog them, lubricates. You know, your car needs lubrication, and so do you. Your blood vessels need lubrication. What clogs up your arteries is sugar, because sugar is stored as fat in your liver. And when the liver, the Costco parking lot, gets full, your body makes triglycerides, fat balls. And they, in turn, love to circulate through your blood and create fat in your arteries. Now, there's more to it than that, because when your insulin goes up, and this is the connection I'm going to bring you today. I didn't get to it yesterday because we only got to part 1. What happens in the liver doesn't stay in the liver. Part 1. Okay? I think you got the memo. Your liver is so stinking important. It gets no ink until it doesn't work. And the headline was 74% of teenagers. 74%. I don't know why they didn't get to 75 and round it off. But the article read 74% of teenagers in the United States of America have some form of fatty liver. And what the point I was making yesterday is that translates to big time doo-doo for the heart. The liver is key. The liver's key. And the liver depends, the state of your liver depends on what you eat or what you drink. Everybody and their dog, you don't even have to go to medical school, will know that alcohol, right? Who doesn't know that? Can destroy your liver. And believe you me, before the 1970s, in every medical book that I owned, when it talked about liver, it talked about cirrhosis of the liver. And all we could think of back then was what alcohol did to your liver, right? But then we started a new condition. It was new, unheard of before. And that was what has become a real pandemic is fatty liver. Non-alcoholic fatty liver, NAFL. If you see that in NAFL, okay, it's non-alcoholic fatty liver. Never heard of it before the Even in the 1970s, you hardly ever heard of it. Wasn't in any textbooks. And now we have a pandemic. We literally have a pandemic of the liver. Non-alcoholic fatty liver. We talked about it yesterday. What does it do? Why does it happen? It happens because we are eating sugar and drinking sugar. The worst is drinking it. When you see kids drinking juices, soda, ooh, it gives me a splitting headache because I know what it's doing to them. It's destroying their health at a young age. Guys, this is scary, but the world doesn't want to talk about it. Because then you would be going against the food industry. They don't like that. Oh, everything in moderation. Eat in moderation. Moderation, no. When I see that on our private Facebook group, I have to bite my tongue. Okay. So fat doesn't make your liver fat. Got it? It doesn't. Now, there are bad fats. Okay? So let me just say that right out now. There's bad fats. They are made in a laboratory, really. Like if you look at what canola oil is, Canada's gift to the world is canola. Ooh. If you knew how they made it and added hexane to it and heated it and reheated it to give you, oh, Dr. Martin, it's a low-fat oil. I know, but it's terrible stuff. It's made for your car and not for you. You can put that in your car's engine. You know, when I go for an oil change, do you want synthetic or the, I don't know, they don't say the word natural oil, but they say, do you want oil or synthetic oil? Well, I don't know. What does my car call for? What does my truck call for? Well, a semi-synthetic would do, according to, but synthetic oil is made for your car or your truck or your motorcycle or whatever. It's not made for the human body. And seed oils, canola, grapeseed, soy, the worst is soy oil. It's made in a vat. It don't come out of the ground. Okay? So now, part 2, I want to switch to the pancreas. Because a couple of studies, and the liver and the pancreas, okay? Now remember where your pancreas is. I showed you yesterday. It's right underneath your stomach. Feel your stomach. And then you got about the size of a pen, okay? I always like illustrations. It helps remember. What does your pancreas look like? A pen. Underneath your stomach, okay? What's inside the pen? Ink. What's inside your pancreas? Beta cells. You don't have to get into weeds, just know a few things. What do those beta cells do? They release insulin. Okay? They release insulin. Now, I'm going to use the illustration of a pen to show you how you get sick and how to protect your pancreas, the pen. How do you keep the ink in the pen or the insulin made from your beta cells inside your pancreas? How do you keep your pancreas healthy? A couple of new studies have come out to show us how to do it. Okay? To show us how to do it. You know the old adage, use it or lose it? Well, that has nothing to do with your pancreas, guys. Okay? The more you use it, the more you lose it. Okay? It's the opposite. The problem in our society today, because we're carboholics. Now remember, always remember what your pancreas is used for. Every time you eat sugar or drink sugar, we know what happens in the liver. We talked about that. Fatty liver. But in the pancreas, here's what happens. When we insist on eating sugar, 200 pounds a year for the average North American, your pancreas, the pen, releases the ink, insulin. Got it? See the correlation? I like I said, maybe this doesn't do a thing for you, but it does for me because I like thinking that way. Because your pancreas is almost exactly the size of a ballpoint pen. Okay? The more you eat carbs, the more you eat sugar, the more insulin you need. And you're going to run out of ink. Okay? Now, you have to understand a little bit of what we call physiology. Okay? Physiology. Your body is smart. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Unbelievable how smart your body is. Every time you have anything that turns to sugar rapidly, sugar or carbs, crappy carbs. I call them crappy because, if you want to have a little bit of fruit, I don't care, except if you're on the reset. Have a few berries. Don't eat bananas. An apple a day does not keep the doctor away anymore. A steak a day does. Okay? Now, when you eat sugar, your pancreas floods your cells with insulin. Why? Because the intelligence of your body that God gave you has to control blood sugar. You have to understand that. And people don't get it because they don't think about it. You know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about my pancreas today. No, you weren't. Okay. People don't think about it. I do, because I'm twisted. Okay? What is my pancreas doing? What is my liver doing? Okay? What's it doing? Well, it's directly proportional. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. What your pancreas is doing and what your liver is doing is directly proportional to what you're eating. Do you think food is important? It's very important. It's the most important thing when it comes to your health is food. Food. And it's what you can control. True or false? True. Okay, now, because your pancreas is, look, it does other things. It releases enzymes, pancreatic enzymes. We will talk about that, but not today. It releases your beta cells, release insulin. It floods your cells because insulin it's a traffic cop. Remember, you, sugar, come here. You cannot park in the blood vessels of this body. You understand me? Out. You ever have security guards telling you can't park? You can't park there. Don't park there. Okay. But that's what your pancreas does. Beta cells release insulin, and the traffic cop tells you where to go. And one place he doesn't want you to stay is in your bloodstream, because your body's smarter. I shouldn't say it to you guys, because you guys are smarter than any doctor I've ever met, just about. You understand the influence of food on your health. And when you insist on eating sugar, your pancreas is going to go crazy releasing insulin, and insulin is going to say to your sugar that you just ate, or carbs that turn to sugar, oh, Dr. Ragnar, I eat whole wheat bread. Ooh, who cares if you eat the whole wheat bread? Whole wheat bread's going to be sugar in 5 seconds. So what happens? Your insulin says, hey, sugar, honey, come here. You can't park there. Can't park in the blood vessels because you're going to destroy blood vessels. Sugar destroys your blood vessels quickly. See how smart your body is? Your body said, don't park there. You can't park there. Come here, come here, come here, come here. And because we're carboholics, your cells, okay, because insulin says to sugar inside your bloodstream, come here. I'm going to park you. You're getting parked. Right? Every cell in your body needs energy. So your insulin says you can't stay in blood vessels, in bloodstream. You must come out. I'm going to put you in the cells, and your cells go, you know what, insulin? You've been coming around so often, I can't stand you anymore. They talk. They do. They communicate. Insulin, I hate you. I don't like you. You're always knocking at my door. Would you get out of here? But your insulin goes, I'm sorry. I must enter in. Your cells go, I don't like you. But guess what happens? That's what insulin resistance is. So guess what happens to your pen? You've developed insulin resistance. How does Dr. Martin know if you have insulin resistance? Well, I look at your blood work. If you got high triglycerides and low HDL, you got a start of a fatty liver, plus you got insulin resistance. That happened even a while back. Then I look at your A1C. And if your A1C is above 5.4, And even really, new research is saying even lower than that. If it's above that, though, I know for a fact you got insulin resistance. So what happens to your pancreas? What's it doing now with insulin resistance? What's it doing? It's releasing more and more and more insulin to do the same job. You see the importance of food, guys? You see, if you bring it back, think with me. Let's go backwards. What saves your pancreas? Low carb. Even better, no carb. You get rid of insulin resistance. You get rid of fatty liver quickly. You empty your liver very quick, guys. It's all food. But it takes 30 days to restore your pancreas, to get the ink filled right back up. And your cells at the cellular level are not resisting insulin anymore. 30 days. Thus, the reset. Okay. Now that was all a preamble. You know what a preamble is, right? It's Dr. Martin going off on a rabbit trail to give you information before I tell you about the studies I wanted to talk to you about. There is one, 2, 3 studies that came out in the last week about beta cells. What are beta cells? Beta cells are in your pancreas releasing insulin. 3 studies that I want to pontificate on. Okay? Number 1, here we go again. Viderma, vitamin D. Viderma protects, new study out. Is there anything that vitamin D doesn't do that's positive? The more they study it, the more it deserves a Nobel Prize on its own. Vitamin D. The sun. You know what it does? It actually helps you never to become a diabetic. Why? New study shows that Viderma, the sun, or if you live in the dark places where you can't get the sun like you should, and if you want to get my ears blowing smoke, steam coming out my ears, is when I think of my Floridian friends, the people that live in those climates where they get about 320 something days of sunshine a year and they don't go in the sun because they're scared of the sun. I gotta bite my tongue. So, you know what's a big factor in preventing diabetes? Vitamin D. Vitamin D. New research shows it protects your beta cells. Wow. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? It is. It's good news. And again, I guess I say this just about every day. You're not going to hear much about it. Not going to get a lot of ink. It's not going to make the newspapers. Do anybody read newspapers anymore? It's going to be sent to the back burner. There's no money in vitamin D. You can't patent it. And when Big Pharma can't patent something, you know, I was saying this the other day. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but let me get off on a tangent for a minute. Remember what I was saying? Big Pharma, what they do, they constantly influence the media. They're smart. I got to give them credit. Give them credit. They should give courses on marketing. There's nobody better, in my opinion, than Big Pharma and Big Food. There's nobody better at marketing like them. They market all the time. They spend a lot of their budget on marketing. And they also, okay, so they market to the media. And the media, you have to understand, the media is into dollars and cents. They need money. They need revenue. And so Big Pharma gives them a lot of revenue. If you don't believe me, watch a TV show and see, and you know, just make note of it. How much of the advertising is for medications? Ask your doctor if this would be good for you. Okay? So they market to the media. They market to politicians. Okay? They have salespeople that influence politicians. In the United States, it's 3 for 1. Every congressman in the United States gets 3 drug reps on them. They're paid 3 to 1 to influence. Influence the media. They influence the politician. Okay? Smart. You have to give it to them, right? The other thing they do, so if there's a drug or whatever, they market. But here's the other thing they do. You have to understand how it operates. It's really important you understand that. When you get, like a vitamin D study that I just brought to you by the Martin Clinic, okay? I'm advertising for Viderma. Tell you how good it is. You know what? Here's what the pharmaceutical companies do. They're not stupid. They talk about their drugs, yes, big time. They talk about their vaccines. They talk about their, every drug that they make. They push. Okay? Here's what they also do. When a study comes out on vitamin D, you know what they do? They lobby government and the media to call it fake news. Vitamin D. Come on. You know, and here's how they couch it. Here's how, guys, I've been around a long time, okay? See this face? You're looking at a guy that's been around a long time, observing for a long time, trying to get in behind the scenes. What are they doing? They get a vitamin D study. It's interesting. They lobby. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you the third thing they do. I got to tell you that. Okay? So they go after media. They pay big dollars for it. And they expect results for those dollars that they spend in media. 2, they lobby politicians, and they're good at it. 3, they finance. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. This is key. They finance the FDA and Health Canada. They finance it. And you know what? They expect results. If you guys don't understand that, you won't understand what happens with studies like I'm showing you. That vitamin D, zero cost to get out in the sun, but let's say you can't and you take a vitamin D supplement, which I highly recommend, by the way. It's cheap. It's inexpensive. And it'll protect your beta cells in your pancreas. It'll keep you away from diabetes. Now, listen, you can't out-sun, okay? You can't out-sun a bad diet, okay? So you can't just eat whatever you feel like and then, oh, I'm going to go lay on the beach. Okay, it's always a good idea to lay on the beach, but not such a good idea to have a bad diet, okay? Because you can't undo a bad diet, guys. You can't. But do you understand what happens? So here's the study. Now, oh, I keep talking and talking and talking. The second part of the study is, it's a separate study on on beta cells. 3 beta cell studies. 1, vitamin D, how it protects your beta cells. It helps you with insulin resistance. Wow, beautiful. That is a headline that you guys would understand. 2, you know what helps your beta cells? New study out. Cholesterol. The higher your cholesterol, the better your beta cells work. Now, do you think the food industry is going to like that one? Do you think the pharmaceutical companies are going to like that one? What? Your cholesterol? The higher your cholesterol, the better your pancreas works. Improvement by 10% in your beta cell activity, according to a recent study. I tell you guys, incredible. It's going against the grain. You want high cholesterol. You don't want low cholesterol. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it's going against everything that you learned. But I tried to bring you the background of that. And what happened? What made cholesterol made the sun a boogeyman and made cholesterol a boogeyman? And listen to this. I'll finish with this. Okay, with beta cells. Okay, I've gone over time a little bit, but I'm just going to finish with this because this is the third study that came out on beta cells. Okay, 2 positive, 1 negative. 1, vitamin D. 2, cholesterol helps your pen. It helps keep ink in your pen. It helps keep insulin in your pancreas. 3rd, here's the 3rd study. Statin drugs, negative. Decrease beta cells. Destroy beta cells in your pancreas, making you much more susceptible, according to the study, to diabetes. Guys, we knew that statin drugs, Crestor, Lipitor, Zocor, especially in women, increase diabetes by 50%. 50%. I had a doctor tell me, right to my face one time, Doc, better that they become a diabetic than having a heart attack. I gave him this face. Ooh. What? Statin drugs, which lower cholesterol, destroy beta cells. Cholesterol, the higher it is, the better your beta cells work. And vitamin D. Guys, you got the research behind the scenes and a lot of pontification with a lot of commentary on the studies. It's the way I'm built, guys. That's the way I'm built. I look at stuff and then I want to know what's behind the scenes. Okay? What makes the world tick? How is it operating? Okay. I got to stop. Guys, we love you and we mean it. I don't say that to everybody, you know. I don't go around saying I love you to everybody. Just you guys. And my family. Okay? But I do. You make it possible. Okay? The 50,000 a week. We appreciate that. You have no idea. Okay? Now, you can share this and you can spread the word and get people on the Doctor Is In podcast. Okay? Okay. Did you get the emails? If you didn't, sign up today. martinclinic.com. Thank you. We love you. Bye-bye.